Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another weekly gay gamer video podcast. I know last week I promised that this week I would be talking about Tokyo Mirage Sessions because my friend lent it to me and I was going to start playing it and then I was going to offer up all my opinions on it. But then I realized this is the first video of 2017, so I felt like I should actually be doing like a year in review kind of thing instead, which is good because I've only just started Tokyo Mirage Sessions, so it's basically just like initial impressions, which can change. So I'd like to play it one more week, then I'll talk about it. So next week, I'll be talking about Tokyo Mirage Sessions. This week, I want to talk about my favorite games that I played in 2016. Now, this is not the best games of 2016, because I didn't play everything that came out in 2016. If Gay Gamer was still around, all of the editors at gaygamer.net, all the writers would come together, we would submit, here's what we felt were the best games of 2016 that we played, and that way all the genres would be covered, and everything would have a say. Because I know tons of people who've been loving the hell out of Overwatch. I didn't play it. It's not my kind of game. I'm surprised I even played Destiny back then. People are loving Final Fantasy 15. I played the demo. But I have a day job, so I just do this for fun. It's not even like when gaygamer.net was around, and I was like a part-time games journalist, where even then I couldn't play everything. I feel like I probably played more, but not everything. It's impossible. Even if you're a full-time professional games journalist, you can't play everything. So instead, this is the favorite games that I played during the year, the majority of which are old. Because through Games with Gold on Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus free offerings, I was able to catch up on a bunch of games that I did not get to play when they first came out. And again, these are like the indie games, so they're awesome when they're free. Or, in the case of some of them, super cheap. Because I did play one new indie game this year, which was Inside, which was great. Visually stunning, super creepy and weird and just unsettling. It's a delightful, creepy little platformer with a weird ending that I'm not entirely sure I understood. But, as with these kinds of games, you're paying $20 for it, $15 to $20 usually, and I always end up feeling slightly let down. So, I prefer to play my indie games when they're on sale, or better yet, free. Which is how I played things like Gone Home, which was a wonderful, wonderful look into a troubled girl's life. Highly recommended, even if I'm sure everyone's already played it by now. Also, I played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which was amazing. I wanted to play it just because it looked like a beautiful stroll through an English village, and the graphics were just stunning. But it turned out to be beautiful and just like an emotional... I had an emotional response to it. The combination of visuals and the audio. The soundtrack is gorgeous. So that one was 2 thumbs up for that. Abzu was another one, which I don't think it was free. I think that one I got on sale. But it's basically like a very like soothing swimming underwater and like bringing the oceans back to life. And that's another one with some beautiful visuals and some stunning soundtrack and just a great mood, you know, which is wonderful. And then there's, of course, the best game that I played this year, obviously. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. Pause. Hang on. First, I also want to address some full-on games that I played that I enjoyed. Because this was the year, 2016, was when I finally splurged and got my PlayStation 4. And I managed to get the Uncharted bundle, so it came with a disc that contained the remastered versions of the first 3 Uncharted games. Unfortunately, I've only played through the first one, even though I hear 2 is the best. I haven't gotten to 2 yet, but I played 1, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. It's not quite as good as the Tomb Raiders, because the Tomb Raider games, the remastered the reboot Tomb Raider games, the 2 new Tomb Raider games are awesome, and some of my favorite games ever. And Uncharted was fun. A little too linear, but fun. And then I also managed to play Until Dawn, which I had heard so much about, and that was also very entertaining. You know, the interactive horror movie. It's not so much of a game, but I still enjoyed it. It's a very specific genre that you may or may not enjoy. I enjoyed it. But of course, the reason for buying the PlayStation 4 was because of the imminent release of No Man's Sky. And that continues to be the game that I remain obsessed with to this day. I literally play it, not every day. In the beginning it was every day. Then I kind of, you know, stepped away. I tried playing other games. I'm currently trying to play Tokyo Mirage Sessions. But more often than not, I'll come home from a stressful day of work, and instead of playing, like, you know, Tokyo Mirage Sessions where I've got to, like, you know, pay attention to the story and read lots of captions and think about what I'm doing, I just like to put on No Man's Sky and then just zone out with the Zen flying around in my spaceship and landing and looking at the pretty pictures and all of the beautiful scenery and the weird creatures and discovering whatever I can. Because that's also a game where I can sit and play it for like 2 hours straight, or I can sit and play it for 10 minutes, see a few things, and then go make dinner. But I remain completely obsessed with it. I can't help it. And although I know a lot of people were disappointed in No Man's Sky, I know there are some people who, now that they've made the update to the game, the Foundation update where you can own starships and build bases, now people are like, okay, this is more the game that I wanted. Whereas that to me is like extra, because I already had the game I wanted. But a lot of people were disappointed. I also was disappointed by a few games that I played this year. As a transition game, I want to mention last year, like everyone else, I was playing Pokemon Go. However, I was slightly disappointed in that you can't battle other people's Pokemon, you can only battle at the gyms, and I tried a few battles at gyms, and other people were so into the game that they had these super high-level Pokemon, and I only play casually, so I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. So I don't battle at gyms ever. And I kind of got bored with it, because there wasn't a whole lot to do if you weren't doing that. Like, that's a whole aspect of the game that I can't enjoy because my Pokemon aren't strong enough and I'm not good enough to do that. So I've just been collecting whatever Pokemon I can, but then I was seeing all the same Pokemon, and it's all crappy bullshit Pokemon, and I was like, never mind. And so I didn't play it for a long time. But I did recently get back into it because they had the special Santa hat Pikachu that you could catch, which was just stupid cute. There doesn't seem to be anything different about it except that it has a Santa hat and just looks cuter. So I caught one of those on Christmas Day, and that was... But I've also noticed that they have tweaked the game now where there's a lot more of the rarer Pokemon that you run into. Like, now I'm seeing Bulbasaurs and Squirtles and Charmanders around, and I'm like, oh, okay, finally. Because you never saw those, so you couldn't evolve those. So now I'm like, okay, good. Because it's a free-to-play game. You can spend money. I've never spent a penny. I don't like to spend money on these games, which is why, segue, I was so disappointed in Pokemon Picross. When Pokemon Picross came out on the 3DS, it was a free game, and I love Picross games, and I thought, great, I'll play Pokemon Picross, I'll do all my Picross puzzles, it'll be super fun. But I feel like that was like an earlier free-to-play game where they hadn't quite figured out the right balance, because when I would try to play it, I couldn't get past a certain point because, like, you had to earn whatever it was, I forget now. It was a long time ago. Like, you had to earn certain points. You had to earn enough points to unlock the next section of the game with the rest of those puzzles. And you had to do certain puzzles in order to get those points to progress, but then there were certain puzzles that you couldn't do because you didn't have the right stuff, and you really had to spend money. And I know that you could, like, spend, like, $20 or $30 to unlock the entire game, but I was like, no, that's kind of expensive, and I don't know if it's worth it. So I never did, and I just stopped playing it, and it just sat there. Just like the other game that I was slightly disappointed in, which was Miitomo, which technically isn't a game. It's like a social media platform kind of thing. But it was super fun in the beginning, and everybody was dressing up in the funny costumes and sending messages to each other, and just like all these kinds of things, everyone plays it in the beginning, and then it goes away, and it fades. That's why the online games are really hard to get into, because you have to get into them right away, because that's when everybody's playing it. And then they stop playing it. Like, if I went back to try to play Destiny now, I don't know who else would be playing it. Like, I went to Miitomo recently and discovered there are a few friends who are still playing it and answering the questions and dressing up and doing things. But I feel like all the stuff, like, now you can decorate your apartment and you can send direct messages, and they've added, like, other functionality to it, which I feel like should have probably been in the game from the beginning, and it might have helped, and it might have led more people to stick around longer, and it wouldn't have faded away as quickly. But it did, and that's sad. I also was slightly disappointed. I was all super excited for Style Savvy Fashion Forward, which came out this year on the 3DS. And I played the demo, I was all excited, and I went on release day, and I tried to get it, and, like, Best Buy didn't have it, and I was super frustrated, and I had to go to Nintendo World, and then they had it, so I was able to get it there. And I was like, what the F? Actually, no, I just downloaded it. That's right, I didn't go to Nintendo World. Because I was like, if I can't get it at Best Buy to get my discount, I'll just get it off the eShop. That way it's just on my 3DS always, and I don't have to worry about switching cartridges. Though that turned out to not be a problem, because even with all the extra features of, like, doing hair and doing makeup, I sort of, like, faded away, and I just didn't really get that into it, which is a shame, because it was still fun. It was just, I think it was just too much of the same, which is my problem with Pokemon, because everybody was playing the new Pokemon game this year, and I didn't even go near it, because I know I'm not going to like it, because I tried the last, well, not the last one, but the one before it, and I was like, meh, not so much. No, I actually did try the last Pokemon game, because it was going to be in 3D, except that half the game was not in 3D. Only the battles were, which was, like, lame. But, I go to play a Pokemon game, and it's basically the same game that I've already played, and I don't find it that entertaining. It gets kind of repetitive, because you're doing the same thing again, and I wanted a new experience. Which is weird, because people say No Man's Sky is repetitive, which it totally is, but for some reason I like that repetition. I don't know. I can't explain it. My mind is full of mysteries. So I was disappointed. I still have it. I might still play it from time to time, but just over a year ago, I got a new job, so my commute is, like, less than half of what it used to be. I used to have this epically long commute on the train to get to work every day, so I had plenty of time to play 3DS games, and to play Vita games, and watch movies, and read comics, and it was great. But now I don't have a very long commute, so like, all that portable gaming has kind of gone out the window. But I want to just end with one other game that I played this year, which was Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which you can now get, like, for stupid cheap because it flopped big time. And sadly, all of the Animal Crossing Amiibo, which are so lovely and wonderful, and I bought when they came out, they are not rare, they are super common, and in fact, if you go to, like, Best Buy, they're like $4 cheaper than the regular Amiibo. They're all on sale. And it's sad. Because I love Animal Crossing, but even I, who love Animal Crossing, I couldn't enjoy Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival that much. It's a board game, like a Mario Party board game, and then there's a bunch of mini-games, and some of the mini-games are more fun than others, but I just was, it just was not, I couldn't get into it. I own it, it's Animal Crossing, I have to have it, I have to have everything Animal Crossing, but I was disappointed, because that was what we got. Because I feel like they were working on art assets to do a Wii U Animal Crossing game, but the Wii U didn't do that well, so they're like, never mind, we'll just do Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, we'll do it, and we'll just do that instead. And I'm assuming that we will get the next Animal Crossing proper game on the Switch, which will be wonderful, because then it's the best of both worlds, because I like my home Animal Crossing games because I play them on the TV, it's super awesome, and my husband can also build a house in the same town, and we can, like, interact with the people. But I also like the portable ones because then I can play it wherever and whenever I am. But with the Switch, I will be able to play it on my TV, but I can also bring it with me and play it on the train to work. So it's the best of both worlds. So I am looking forward to the Switch, and I am looking forward to playing Animal Crossing on the Switch. I would assume at some point during the summer that it should be a pretty quick release, because I feel like it's something they were working on for the Wii U, and they're just going to transfer everything over and finish it on the Switch. At least that's my hope and assumption. So that's what I played this year and that I enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you played this year and what you enjoyed, or what disappointed you. And then next week, I will be talking about Tokyo Mirage sessions. I promise. And I'll see you then. Bye!